Welcome back, my quick crypto family and coin factory family, back with once again another daily live stream. 42 days in a row, still going strong. I'd like to believe we've got more news as always to talk on the stream regarding market sentiments, crypto updates, inflation data. We also got a interview or a conference talk with the Marathon CEO talking about Bitcoin being a national security risk or concern, which is intriguing and sounds quite worrying, but when you hear what he talks about, you realize actually it's not that worrying in all. It's going to be just more signs of America kind of want to take more control of more control of Bitcoin, but so they can negate the risk if as they word it, which could also be seen as a good thing for potentially Casper's future as well, considering that again Casper's following the steps of Bitcoin. But we'll talk about that a little later on when we play the video. Also got more updates regarding Casper as well. The KEF, we've got a $10 million project. The KEF project just, at the imminent launch of KRC20 in just 3 days time. Very, very big news. So as always, if you enjoyed the stream, leave a like, share with your friends and subscribe for more. Back here, hopefully same time again tomorrow. Jay Honey, welcome my man back to the stream. After another day in crypto, another round of rumor and news. You know it. I tell you, watching and learning the crypto space is worse than listening to the Fisher wires down docks. Yeah, it can be like that sometimes. I completely agree. Crypto is can be a very toxic space, but at the same time it's also a good place to build your knowledge. Without further ado, let's get into one of the main headlines, which is this announcement here from the KEF, the Casper Ecosystem Foundation, the project right now that's in charge of launching KRC20. Very, very big news. We're going to see the KEF Catalyst Ecosystem plans officially launched. Hey Casper fan, we're excited to announce that the Catalyst Ecosystem Plan Series 1 has been officially launched. With $10 million in funding for this series, we're igniting the Casper ecosystem through a multi-phase campaign that includes grants, user and developer education, infrastructure development, community events, and so on. This is just the beginning of a massive wave of innovation for Casper. And again, there's going to be an AMA on the 15th for the exclusive insight into the Catalyst plan, the same date that KRC20 will be officially relaunched to all of us. So again, very, very bullish news incoming for Casper right now. This is just one project, again, one of many projects that will be coming to Casper that's going to help with their innovation, their growth, their adoption, and the KII are also going to be launching projects on the KRC20 as well. They already confirmed that a few weeks back now, which is also going to help with the future adoption and growth of Casper as well, which again will be very, very big news for Casper's future price as well. Right now we can see Casper valued at 16.2 cents, down roughly 2.22% on the daily time frame. Crypto's in a downtrend for the most part right now. And again, it's in coinciding with what I believe will happen following the FOMO for KRC20 and the rate cuts incoming. We'll see Casper probably consolidate around this region. Following the rate cuts, KRC20 will be released, and then we'll see the rumor is gone, the news will be out, and then we'll see the correction following the rate cuts we've got to get into in just a moment as well. Good news for Casper at the moment, but Bitcoin pulls everything down. Yeah, precisely. Right now, there's not enough market, there's not enough liquidity in the market, not enough money in the market right now. So Bitcoin currently is correcting, and I think it's following the news of the rate cuts we got it on Twitter here. You can see Radar puts down the US inflation has fallen to 2.5 in August. Same thing, Coin Bureau also falls from 2.9 last month to 2.5, and we've got documents here from BBC reporting about it, the Financial Times talking about it, which we'll get into that in just a moment. But I believe that this is the news that has caused the correction right now in the market, as there is a growing chance of there now being rate cuts, potentially more severe rate cuts as well. That's why crypto, I believe, is correcting right now. I didn't know this was a live. Thought this news was a quick video. Gotta go. Well, you can't stick around Ethereum, then it's a shame, but as always, if you enjoy the streams, anyone who enjoys the streams, leave a like and share with your friends. Stick around, because I'll be probably making a video later today, so if you're still here, then hopefully you'll be tuning into the video later on today. But yeah, this right now is going to be a live stream. I've got the thumbnail should state that it's a live stream. I'll be making a video later today as well for I have to figure out what I'm going to talk about. I'll probably be around similar news, talking about Marathon once again, and potential exchange listings, again talking about the alpha we covered a little bit yesterday about a potential a confirmed new US exchange that's going to be coming to Casper in the next few weeks. So we'll get into that, in a video later on today, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But all in all, again, very, very bullish news for Casper incoming. So in continuation of what we're talking about, yes, we see Casper currently correcting. I'm not too bothered, truth be told, about the price right now. I think we're going to see similar. Again, the Fed rate cut, the Fed meeting is on the 17th and 18th of September, so that's 6-7 days away from now, so it's not far off. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I think we're going to see the market continue in this form of trend. So with that being said, we're going to get into the announcements here. Following what the US inflation has fallen to. We've got the article here for Financial Times and also from the BBC. I'm just going to summarise basically what's been announced, just so it makes it easy for people to understand, as opposed to just reading through a whole article. Basically, obviously the US inflation data, the US inflation has dropped to 2.5% in August, which is lower than expected and closer to the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. And this decrease in inflation suggests that the Fed might cut interest rates at its next meeting on September 18th, which we've already kind of been predicting going to happen anyways. Interest rates are at a 23-year high, which is insane. The bond market has reacted positively to this inflation news, which is expected, but on-risk assets, particularly crypto, evidently has reacted negatively to this news right now. So the stock market again. So my on-risk assets, have not reacted very good to this news, but yield and bonds have reacted more positively, which is expected. And while the inflation seems to be under control, the Fed is also monitoring the labour market, which right now we've been seeing more and more signs. I don't think I've got any of the sources up right now, but I probably can find them here. We've seen more and more signs constantly here. For example, the US labour market is just crumbling right now. The Fed are monitoring it closely, which they need to do in order to judge, the severity of the rate cuts are going to issue. A weak job report might lead to larger rate cuts than expected, and right now they seem to be again going to all-time lows. Reaching an 18-year low here near the, it's very, very disastrous right now. 13-year low, even the lowest in 13 years. So if it continues in this fashion and gets worse and worse, the Fed might issue a more severe rate cut. Speculation there being a 50 BP is increasing, 0.5% cut as opposed to just a 25 BP. We'll have to see where that pans out, all in all. And then the final parts of these articles that I was covering about, in regards to the articles and stuff, is that some economists believe a smaller quarter point cut is appropriate. Again, some people believe that a smaller one, the 0.25% cut, is more appropriate, but they worry that a larger cut might be what happens, and it might also reignite inflation. The Fed officials has emphasised caution regarding rate cuts, stressing the need to monitor the labour market and avoid pushing inflation higher once again. So we're going to find out, obviously, the verdict in the next week or so when the Fed meeting happens, so be sure to stick around for that. Could be talking about it in the stream as always. I'll probably even make a video on it when it comes out as well. And it's important to note again, because last time we had the whole meeting with the Fed where they didn't cut rates, we saw this correction in the market. And now we're approaching another meeting, which we're going to see rate cuts. The severity of the rate cuts could rise inflation. We'll have to see again what happens and how the market will react to it. I'm suspecting we'll see a correction in the market regardless. And the severity of the rate cut might cause more severe correction in the market all in all. Could you imagine being all in on Casper even with more money, millions, or would you prefer to diversify, e.g. Bitcoin, stocks, etc.? Okay, I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, full disclosure, of course, Massimo. I'm not a financial advisor, but me personally, what I've done with my investments, I've diversified, I've hedged my bets. Casper's my largest bag because I believe the most in Casper as the best ROI and what it's got coming to it, but I've hedged my bets. I've got assets in real world utility tokens. I'm not in stocks, but I'm not saying I won't be in the future, because it's another financial market I can make profit in right now. Really, I'm in cryptos, because crypto's a very, very undervalued market, more risky than other markets, but it's very undervalued. And from seemingly what's happening in the world right now, with more and more bullish catalysts suggesting that we're going to see a takeoff with crypto very, very soon. Like, look, the 1 trillion, or I think it's 800 billion actually, but 1 trillion Standard Chartered Bank has just launched a Bitcoin and crypto custody in UAE. There's more and more signs that crypto is going to take off. That's why in due time, I'm sure I'll be getting into more financial asset markets, more investment cycles. But right now I'm in crypto due to the fact that crypto seems to be an undervalued market that's maturing and has a very sizable growth. That's what research has shown me time and time again. Bitcoin mining reaching new all-time highs. Casper mining equally is, sitting at a very, very high level. Top all-time high of around 1.12 EH, and it's constantly touching that all-time high and growing more and more as time goes on. So being in Casper, I think, is a wise bet right now. That's me personally. I'm happy I'm in Casper. I'm glad I found it early, and the fact that it's still at 16.2 cents is very undervalued in my opinion. But I don't go all in on it because, again, nothing's guaranteed in this space at all. So I've hedged my bets. Because also, again, I've hedged my bets because let's say I've put, just throwing numbers out there, I put $100 in something like XRP. I've got more than that, but I'm just stating that for the sake of stating it. $100 in XRP. If XRP, based on the news and catalyst coming out for it, somehow reaches $10 a cycle, that's a 20x. Now, I've not made a load of money off that because I didn't put a lot of money in it, but I don't want to put too much in an asset that I don't have as much faith in as I do in Casper. But Casper's chance of 20x is equally very possible. If it's at 20 cents, it could reach $4. I think it will reach $4. But it's just, again, just hedging my bets so I could potentially make money in other assets as well. Because there will be other. I'm sure when the bull cycle probably takes off as well, I will end up looking towards other smaller asset classes, gaming, cryptos, micro caps as well during the bull cycle, ones that I think have potential to make much more volatile gains, just so I can then put those profits into Casper for the safer bet in my opinion. Also, Mike, my man, welcome back to the stream. What price would you stop buying Casper at? Is there a price you won't go beyond? And I mean, in this cycle, I would probably stop in and around $1 to $1.50, I think, in this cycle. And then I kind of just ride the wave up. But again, if I'm making profit, like when the bull cycle probably starts off and I end up, building my knowledge and understanding and start trading into these other assets, I might just I'm hoping to make, just quick flip profits and put it into Casper that way. So in that case, then I guess the answer would really be there'll probably never be a time I don't invest into Casper. Once it's nearing its all-time high, which I mean, so basically when around, maybe September, October, November time, that's when I probably will start lessening, if not starting to look to find my exit strategy. But for the most part, I imagine I'll be constantly buying more into Casper, and then I'll obviously getting a much heftier bag, pre the announcements from tier ones and other major announcements coming for Casper, and also once the bear cycle starts again in 2026. Just listen to Wolves Roundtable, great. Yeah, I saw, it might have been you, I'm not sure who it was, someone in my community. It was actually you, I believe. Yeah, you linked it in our community. For those who are unaware, I've got a free Discord server. You can see it on screen right now. I'm also linking it in the chat, and also it's in the description of this live. But again, it's not just me. It's a free Discord server, not just me building my knowledge. Everyone in the community trying to help build each other's knowledge right now. I did listen to the last few segments of the live stream before I obviously launched this live myself, and I'll be re-listening to it to the very beginning as well. I did hear some very, very interesting things. All in all, just ultimately about how Casper, again, just Casper being the perfect form of money and what they're trying to build, which again, just leaves me very optimistic for what Casper building in the future. Speaking of which, again, KRC20 is coming out very, very soon. We've got other, seemingly very, very important announcements we're going to get through as well. This again makes me very, very happy to see what's happening with Casper. The KRI, of course, we should know the KRI enterprise event is going to be taking place on the 24th, which is roughly 13 days away from now, so just less than 2 weeks. And there's going to be Shy there. There's going to be Michael Sutton there as well, and we can see here Shy's currently just in a talk with Rory O'Neill of the KRI and also Paul Van Son of the KRI, who are both part of the DII as well, the chairman. So again, very, very, very big news. What's the lowest price Bitcoin will do in September? Don't give me analysis, just give me a number that you predict, please. I mean, I can't give you. I mean, that's it. I don't really know how to answer that, because anyone could just throw a number out there, but for you to make any judgment, you need to have knowledge, or at least some information, some historical data to give you an idea of where you think it might be. I don't know where Bitcoin's going to correct to. I'm speculating that Bitcoin will come approaching Fed meeting, approaching the Fed meeting next week. If Bitcoin, is gone down to 50k, and then the meeting happens, and then the rate cuts are issued, we could see it dip further to 45k. But if Bitcoin holds at this price right now of 56k, then the rate cuts are issued, it probably won't correct as far. It depends on where Bitcoin is sitting at, in my opinion. So I'll end up making a more. I guess I'll end up giving a more. I give an answer that I think I'll be more likely to believe in. I'll give an answer pretty close to the time. Is what I'm going to say. All I can do right now is speculate based on the current market and what's happening in it. But again, I can't say what's going to happen next, 6 days, 7 days. I can't say for sure. I can make speculation about it depending on what I've seen from historical data. We'll probably see some correction in the price, but I will not know for sure until the market actually plays out. Right now, we're seeing more and more things happening in the market that suggests the market's in a bit of a downtrend. 452 large companies have now declared bankruptcy year to date, the second highest numbers in 14 years. We are seeing a situation that's becoming really problematic right now. All in all, it's currently a struggle. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens. Right now I'm just thinking 45 to 50k is currently my price target, I guess, but I'll give a, dare I say, more accurate answer close to the time. Now, someone in there said if Casper doesn't do absolutely. So someone in the roundtable said, if Casper doesn't do absolutely nothing anymore, it should be a top 10 since it's better. Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. If Casper, at this current place where Casper's at right now, even if it did nothing, it might take longer, but even if it did nothing, it would still reach a top 10 because its technology alone is already incredible, and it could probably be used for in financial points, like you said, financial points much better already. I think that it is already a superior technology in this space, and all it's lacking right now, is the adoption from tier ones and from institutional adoption. It's just lacking the adoption. But also, it's not just that. Casper still are building. 10 BPS is in Q1 2025, 6 months away from now. The KRC20 is just on the 15th, so just 4 days away from now. We've got another big project coming out as well. One of many projects. KRI event. So much is still developing for Casper that Casper reaching top 10 in the cycle, for me, seems likely. If it did nothing anymore, it will reach top 10, but it might not be this cycle, it might be next cycle. But it will, in my opinion, it will reach top 10 this cycle. It will most likely surpass Cardano in its first cycle, which would be surpass $4 all-time high, and keep going from then. Beautiful welcome back to the stream. Agreed, Muscle Mike. That was a good roundtable. Always good to hear Wolfie speak. Yeah, Wolfie is, honestly, he's got some of the best, Casper Alpha, Casper mindset, I think. Just being able to, reignite the belief of Casper and what's happening for it. You're predicting 42, 44k Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, that would also be nice. Again, ultimately, I'm not too fussed where Bitcoin goes to. The lower it goes, the more I fill my bag for cheaper crypto. So I'm not too bothered where it goes. I'm, again, speculating between 45 to 50k right now, but it depends on what's happening. Been working on my own exit and diversification strategy today. Got a clear plan in when and how I'm going to go forward. It's amazing how many coins tokens seem to go on purpose but have nothing. Yeah, I think that there are. Yeah, I completely agree. There are a lot of projects in the space that seem to have very good, a very good white paper, very good, like on the surface they look very, very good, but fundamentally they just aren't doing anything. That's what I mean. That's one of the things that when people ask me what I think about this project that claims to be the next Casper, I'm just there like, but can you claim to be the next Casper when you look at Casper's all-time chart, which looks like this, which is absolutely insane? The only one that's doing what it's doing, the only one that's solved the dilemma, everyone that's claimed to be the next Casper has not done this. There are many projects in this space that claim to be doing something good, but they don't have anything on the surface. The projects that I look towards right now are the real world utility tokens that have got partnerships with massive governments, central banks, institutions all around the world. That's why I invested in XRP. Not a lot, but I hold because I understand the shortcomings of them and the risks that hold with centralized assets. But I hold them because they've got the partnership, they've got the technology, and Casper right now, I believe, thanks to the KRI, will hopefully in time surpass XRP in the technology and what they have. But unfortunately, right now, the Casper just does not have the adoption. That's why Casper is not being used by these financial markets the same way that XRP has been doing it, because they've been doing it for years, 11, 12 years or so. XRP and Ripple have been building their foundation, their infrastructure around them. Casper, the technology is, very old. I say very old, it's not very old, but the technology for Casper is being developed for years and years and years. But the project itself has only been out for 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's not been out very, very long at all. So there's still a lot to wait for Casper before it could actually start taking its space in this, its foundation in this space, its foot in this space. And when it happens, thanks to the KRI and what else is coming out for Casper, I think it will become the most dominant project in this space. JNI at odds. I'm convinced the rate cuts will cause instant bullish momentum. We shall see, though. Yeah, I mean again, it's also a possibility. I'm not saying it's impossible. Historical data seems to suggest that we will see rate cuts cause correction in the market. But again, I also have reiterated in previous streams that it depends on how the market reacts, right? So let's just say Casper comes down to 14, 13 cents ahead of the rate cuts. The rate cuts then happen, and it's only 0.25 BP. It's 225 BPS. It's not that severe in that regard. That might just cause, consolidation and then a pump, right? But if it's more severe, we might see then crypto correct further as inflation sparks again, and recession worries more and more. Also as well, if the market decide they don't want to continue correcting ahead of the rate cuts and they decide they just want to consolidate in this region for the meantime, then when they announce that maybe we might see the correction, it depends how the markets react. I think the market's going to correct, again, by the rumours, sell the news. I think the market's going to correct ahead of the rate cuts, and when they're issued, depending on the severity of them, we might see it go down further or consolidate and then turn tail. That's kind of where my head's at right now. We'll have to wait and see. Also keep in mind that allegedly the Fed are scheduled or planning to issue multiple rate cuts in the next 12 months. Allegedly there's going to be 4 rate cuts. Of course, it's not all going to be in September. It'll be spread out in the next 12 months. But each rate cut will cause small correction, most likely, followed by then instant bullish momentum following that. Comparing to Bitcoin is 300x undervalued is crazy. Yeah. Comparing Casper to Bitcoin is crazy, but it is very undervalued in my opinion. Very, very undervalued. As a new mining farm we just built in Oklahoma, and it's 100% Casper mining, we've seen that even with the new hash rate all-time high. I mean, again, more ways to mine Casper. It's growing more and more, which again is going to help in the price very, very soon as well. And in that regard, I want to also then quickly talk about this video before we get back into the conversation, Mr. Miles, about rate cuts. We've got this interview here with the Marathon CEO, Fred Thiel, who states here that Bitcoin is a national security concern for this country and it must maintain its dominance. So listen very closely, because it's actually something I think is very, very, very important. I'm going to quickly just play it right now when I get this off the screen. There you go.
Bitcoin is of national security concern for this country. Russia is the world's second largest Bitcoin mining nation. Countries that operate on a Bitcoin standard from a perspective of transacting and holding Bitcoin can transact outside of the sanctions environment. They can transact outside of government controls. If the US does not have a substantial amount of Bitcoin mining onshore, they can be locked out, and US companies can be locked out of transacting their Bitcoin. So strategic ownership of block space is of a national security concern. And that's why with 40% of global Bitcoin mining in the US must maintain dominance, not just in Bitcoin mining, but also in the holding of Bitcoin assets in US companies, whether they're ETFs, whether they're Bitcoin mining companies, whether it's MicroStrategy. But the US must maintain dominance because by the same reason the US holds 40% of the gold reserves in the world, they can exert influence in financial markets. They have to do that as the world transitions to digital currencies.
Okay, it's incredibly well said. Ben, do you have anything you want to add to that?
So yeah, as you heard from Fred Thiel there, ultimately it's just, again, America has been the financial capital of the world for, years and years, since the dollar has become the world reserve currency. So 80 plus years or so now. But America's been a center point for the financial ecosystem with Web2 development as well, and Web3 is now coming out. America has been slow to Web3, slow to Bitcoin, but because they still maintain that dominance right now as the financial capital of the world, the financial country of the world, so to speak, they can afford to be a little bit late, I guess. Although, again, I don't think the Democrats have done very well in helping that at all, which is why there's been a lot of concerns in that regard. But either way, Fred Thiel basically states that Bitcoin is a national security risk, and therefore the same way they hold a lot of gold, they need to hold a lot of Bitcoin so they can maintain that dominance, that kind of that outlet, so to speak. And I think this is that. So it's not his way of saying national security risk is not saying that Bitcoin inherently itself is a problem. It's just saying that we need to make sure that we do not fall behind. That's the way I got this. He's not saying that Bitcoin is a problem. He's saying that we need to make sure that we do not fall behind, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. He understands that Bitcoin's the future, and that's why they're mining it, and he's saying that we need to make sure we don't fall behind. And keep in mind as well that Marathon have also now diversified to Casper. So in my eyes as well, in my own mind space, I believe there's something quite similar in regards to how you could potentially talk about Casper in the future as well. Casper, of course, is a very, very new asset, which is following Bitcoin's vision, and it's growing more and more. It's going to be, it's going to have 10 BPS, it's going to have, KRC20 is going to have a lot more incoming. It's going to make Casper in due time more superior to, I mean, already technology-wise it's more superior to Bitcoin. It's already 600 times faster than Bitcoin. 10 BPS can make it 6,000 times faster than Bitcoin. And I'm sure that Casper can become even more dominant as time goes on as well. So with Fred Thiel talking about, Bitcoin being a security risk, the fact that we need to get more dominance in Bitcoin, I'm sure they're saying the exact same thing in the future regarding Casper as well. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And again, it's just showcasing once more the influence that Bitcoin has, of course, but crypto is having in the new financial market, that making sure they want to make sure they have as much dominance of crypto and Bitcoin as possible so they can become, the central hub, so to speak. They want to lose that financial capital sort of thing. Historical data also suggests that not all rate cuts cause bearish behaviors. You can find both narratives in historical data. Yeah, true. Again, historical data doesn't always showcase that we're going to definitely see a correction. There have been times where, rate cuts have caused bullish momentum. And again, that's why I said it's hard to say. My current headspace from what I've seen from the historical data, because I have seen both sides of it again, is that we're going to see corrections leading up to the meeting. And then the meeting actually happens, again, buy the rumor, sell the news. When the meeting actually happens, then we will see the market react accordingly. Again, if the cuts are very, very severe and then inflation woes exceed again, and recession woes exceed again, I don't imagine it's going to be very good for on-risk asset markets like crypto. People will then seek safety in bonds and the dollar again. But if it's not as bad, and it's what everyone predicts to be like a little slap on the wrist, so to speak, in terms of rate cuts, then I think the correction that's led up to the meeting will then realize, okay, it's not as bad as we thought. Let's just start pumping the bag because there's going to be more market. There's going to be more liquidity in the market now. Again, Q4 you're going to have FTX redistributing their money to the contributors, $16 billion. You'll have Wave 2 institutional adoption getting involved, regulations getting involved as well, which will mean more Wave 2 institutional adoption as well. More people mining Bitcoin again. We saw new all-time highs in the hash rate. So ultimately more and more adoption for Bitcoin. Q4 is going to be massive for crypto falling forward, despite the announcements made with rate cuts coming very, very soon. Brady, my man, welcome back to the stream. Good morning, everyone. What a credit time to be alive. Couldn't say it better myself. Don't forget to share and like. If you do, Casper will go to $100. Well, there you go. In the words of Necklace for Cash, if you like and share this stream with your friends and family and subscribe if you're new, then Casper will go to $100. Top KRC20 Pro. Top KRC20 Pro. Are you saying Casper will go to top 20? Let's take a poll. Will Casper price go down with the upcoming rate cuts? Can I do that? I can. Wow. Well, there, I'll ask the question then for everyone in chat. So, will Casper correct following rate cuts? And it's going to be yes. Just why, no, and then just to the moon for a joke. Start the poll. Everyone will vote in the chat. It should work. My first time doing this, we'll have to see if it actually works or not. I have no clue if it will work. But anyways, yeah. So will Casper end up going for the rate cuts? We'll have to wait and see. I think that we could see Casper correct, personally, but again, we'll have to wait and see where it goes from there. That makes total sense. Is that in regard to Marathon? I have to clarify what makes total sense, because I'm a bit late to the questions, unfortunately. Still waiting for the pullback to add more Casper next week. Yeah, I'm so am I, my man. I'm hoping Casper will come back down to, I'm hoping Casper will come back down to 13 again. That's where I want to see Casper come back down to again. If it doesn't come back far that down, if Casper comes back down here again to 14, I'll get in some more. If it comes back down to 13, then again, filling up my bags higher and higher. Do you believe we will see Casper listing on Coinbase this cycle? I believe so. Probably not till like mid to late 2025, I'd like to say, but I think we will see Casper listing on Coinbase, because again, for those who are unaware, Coinbase have expressed more bullish belief in Casper recently, with their new business manager, whatever. I've got Ibrahim Usul, who's now a Casper investor. He's very, very bullish on Casper. Also, they also funded Casper's original research. There's a lot of incentive therefore for Coinbase to list Casper. So I believe we should see one this cycle. Binance, I think, is very likely. Kraken is confirmed. We don't know when, but it's confirmed. OKX is also a bench arm, so I think that's going to happen soon enough as well. Coinbase, I think, will happen as well. So based on the poll right now, looks like many people think we will see a correction follow the rate cuts. I don't think I'm actually able to show this, which is a bit upsetting. I thought I could show this on screen, but I seemingly can't, which is, I mean, there's only so much I think I can do, unfortunately. I'm still quite new to this streaming stuff. But right now it's 47% in yes, 20% in no, and 30% say to the moon. So yeah, it seems like for the most part people think there will be rate cuts. I mean, all in all, I guess people think it's going to be I guess in that case then to the moon and no coincides together. So actually it's 53% saying there will be a pump following Casper, following the rate cuts. So maybe we actually will see a pump instead. People seem to believe there will be a pump instead of a correction. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the next week as things unfold more and more. If inflation wasn't coming down, I would agree that rate cuts would be bad. But with inflation coming down, I think rate cuts are bullish. Yeah, I mean, that's also something very, very mindful to take into account. Because inflation, again, as it confirmed in these, as inflation falls down more and more, the so-called soft landing that America's been preaching for time and time again seems to be, I guess, more likely now. We'll have to wait and see, again, where it pans out. But with inflation coming down, falling lower than anticipated, that may mean that the rate cuts... Because if the inflation rates are really, really high, the rate cuts would have to be more severe. But as they're falling down more than expected, they may not have to do it as severe, so therefore it might just be, again, a sign to turn and just start pumping. I still think we're going to see correction in like leading up to them, following the rate cuts. Again, it depends on severity announced of the rate cuts. If it's higher, BPS 50, let's just say, then I think we can see further downtrends. But we'll have to see where it goes from then. Don't say correct, because correct means it's going to $1. I mean, okay, I won't say correct. Remember, people were expecting Casper to go back down to 0.004 and refuse to buy 0.07. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people are always going to speculate where Casper's going to go from here on as well. Of course, people are always speculating where it's going to go. I think that we are going to likely see Casper come down. But again, it depends on the market. We've got a lot of market sentiment suggesting that, you know, we could see some downtrends, but also we got, you know, a lot of Casper sentiment that suggests that we might see a reversal instead. This is massive news, of course. Very, very big news for us incoming. You know, KRI getting more involved is very, very cool as well. You know, episode 0.7, so 007 is ready. August was an intense month, great work. So this is the Rock the Casper crew. You know, they're going to be, you know, having another event, and they've got their video out, which is now live recently, which is very, very cool. We already saw a clip of it, which I showed in my stream yesterday, where in the stream yesterday they confirmed that a new US exchange is going to be listing Casper, which, despite it may not be the Kraken people want or the tier 1 that people want, seemingly, again, we haven't got confirmation of that, but it seems to be that way right now, depending on what little they did say in this video. Regardless, a new US exchange is still very, very bullish, because right now the United States, besides having Uphold and using VPNs, they have very limited ways to get access to Casper, or at least it's very tedious to get access to Casper, or it's very expensive. Uphold's got expensive transaction fees, to my knowledge, and the VPNs can be just quite tedious for people. A new US regulated exchange would be very, very bullish, especially one that has cheaper fees as well, and is, you know, is regulated, should be trusted. So that means more ways to get access to Casper in the United States, and my audience, majority of them are from the US, so that's very bullish for them. So we could see some positive price movement following that as well. My gut is that it will drop after the rate cuts, but act as the launch pad for the moon shot once the new listing gets launched and new rumours come up and the KRI initiative happens. Yeah, I think that's equally a logical conclusion to make. That's currently also where my headspace is at. I think that we'll see corrections following the rate cuts, and then with all the bullish sentiment following Casper, with, you know, listing imminent, KRC20 that will be, you know, officially launched by that point as well. We'll see stablecoins come on KRC20 soon enough as well. I think they'll start, you know, turning tides. We'll see the reversal, and when Casper breaks out of this resistance level of just short of 21 cents, I think it's going to be quite an explosive pump, at least leading up to an explosive. I'm not saying we're going to see it just a straight line up like that. There's always going to be ups and downs, highs and lows. We'll probably see it come up here, come back down here, and then go up again. But I think it's going to start the bullish momentum for Casper. At least I'd like to believe that much. We'll have to see where it develops from here, though, of course. How does Casper being adopted by the energy sector raise its actual coin price, and how much would it be significant technically? Okay, well, I can answer that, actually. It's a good question. So, to give you a kind of a brief summary, in this roundtable that I listened to, and I also put a TLDR to, you know, about 3 weeks back now, 14th of August, this had the KII involved in it, right? And in the KRI, Roy O'Neill confirmed. Roy O'Neill, of course, being one of the, I guess, the spokespeople, if you will, board member, spokespeople of the KRI. In fact, he was also one that spoke here with Shai in this clip. He's right there. Anyways, in this roundtable, Roy O'Neill, he confirmed that. Let me find my notes. Trying to find my notes real quick. He confirmed that the energy sector is one of, if not the most valuable sector on the planet, right? The energy sector is one of the most valuable sectors on the planet. He said this at the 41 minute 45 second mark. He said the energy sector is one of the most valuable on the planet, and the emissions market, that's just one sector of the energy sector. The emissions market by 2030 is predicted to be valued at $2 trillion a year, which is absolutely nuts, excessive, very, very expensive. And he also states that the underlying assets, which if Casper is an energy sector, it'll be considered an underlying asset. Casper, therefore, are extremely valuable. So for a market, it's going to be very, very expensive, $2 trillion potentially by 2030. It's only 5 years away now, 5-6 years away now. Casper, being an underlying asset, will be extremely valuable, and they need Casper. The DRI, KRI need Casper in the energy sector because Casper has the scalability, the decentralization, and security to work on the projects they need to handle DLT solutions at scale with energy. That's again, I guess, just one reason put by Roy O'Neill as to why Casper being adopted by the energy sector is so very important and could raise the actual price of the coin, because its use case will increase, used in a very, very crucial area, energy sector, which will help, raise its adoption and therefore price going forward as well. Same thing could be right now we're entering into a unique phase in the market, where previously in the past it was pretty much just FOMO and hype driven. We're now entering into a market where what really drives the project, now that institutions are getting more involved, what really drives a project is real use cases. The projects that are just purely FOMO and just hype, they're going to struggle. They're going to probably end up being, there's talks from like the European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde saying that in due time, many crypto projects are going to be cannibalized. Ones that don't offer anything, they're going to be cannibalized. That's also why I have Ripple and XRP, because their projects seem to hold a real use case. I'll hold Casper because for me that's a very early project that had even better use case than XRP. And when the actual adoption grows for Casper, we're going to see the use case grow more and more, and then we'll see its mass adoption, hopefully, and its price rise from there going forward as well. 25-point rate cuts is bullish, 50-point rate cut is bearish, and the signal problems in the market and everything will correct. I mean, yeah, in accordance to what these articles said regarding the rate cuts as well, regarding the inflation data. Regarding the inflation data, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so obviously, yeah, we saw the inflation data that states that we will likely see rate cuts at its next meeting on the 18th of September. It's currently, closer to the Fed's target of 2%, which is surprising, but it's also good in that regard. But ultimately, right now, the Fed are just kind of still monitoring the labor department, and the weaker jobs report might lead to larger rate cuts than expected. And economists, right? So people who study this stuff religiously, which I guess I'm also doing myself now, but people who've obviously passed a degree and stuff in that as well, who are hired by the big companies, economists believe that a quarter point rate cut, so 25, is appropriate, while others worry that a larger rate cut might reignite inflation. Ultimately, if it's 50, that might reignite inflation, which will cause more downtrend in the market. If it's 25, then it may just be that signal to start the bull run as the market accommodates for the rate cuts. That's currently what seems to be the word on the street right now. Because they'll be put. Oh yeah, there you go. That's also Mr. Mars answering the question regarding why KRI and why Casper and energy sector is so very big. Because again, it's putting everything on chain, and they'll be buying stuff for Casper, using Casper, so it's going to help rise its adoption more and more. And the DRI also wants to use Casper for carbon credits. I mean, yeah, it's just all in all, it's just energy is a very, very big thing, and that's going to help Casper increase in value as time goes on as well. Someone in the roundtable said, "Watch Casper not in the next 12 months. Watch Casper in the next 1 to 6 months." Well, again, I'm going to be definitely looking listening through that roundtable either later today or tomorrow when I have some time. I'm going to listen through it and just hear what's being said, and maybe make a TLDR on my server again. For those who are again new to the stream, I have a free Discord server that I've been running for a little bit over a month now. I started at the same time I started streaming, and it's been very helpful for a lot of people. We've got over 300 members right now. We're all right now just trying to build our knowledge to find, understand market sentiments, to find true crypto project, to find more stuff about Casper, to just basically build our knowledge all in all, to help us, again, hopefully make more profit. So if you want to learn more about crypto and Casper in general and other crypto projects, then by all means, please feel free to join the servers in the chat right now. But again, for what's incoming with Casper, I think the next 12 months, again, in the next 1 to 6 months, you got, let's just speculate what's happening in the next 1 to 6 months, right? We've got the KRC20 happening in a few days. We've got 10 BPS will happen around that time as well. We'll have exchange listings, one that's going to be imminent, a new US exchange, and most likely tier ones as well, most likely Kraken, hopefully Binance as well. We will have more developments from the KII, and increased projects launched on KRC20. We will have meme tokens launched on KRC20. We will have stable coins on KRC20. That's just what I have on top of my head right now, and there's probably more that we haven't even been announced about yet because I had to keep NDAs on it. That's just a small portion of stuff that's been talked about. So again, I'm optimistic where it's going to go here as well. I'm going to now end the poll, and I have 31 votes in the poll. I don't know why I'm not allowed to show it on screen, but the poll ultimately ended with people believing that we will see Casper actually reverse following the rate cuts as opposed to actually correct. All in all, the belief was more so towards not by much, 5%, 10% difference. 44% say that we will see a correction, whereas 46 believe that we will see a straight reversal and a price pump for Casper following the rate cuts. Which again, we'll hopefully see what happens to come forward as well. I think we'll see a correction leading up to them. But again, they're saying that we've got the KRC20 just 4 days away now, so that could again stem the bleeding, if not prevent Casper from correcting too severely. Wait, Jersey Discord server. Mr. Mars, you are one of the key members of the Discord server. You know it very much. I mean, yeah, I obviously announce it in all my streams because again, I'm just trying to build the adoption more and more. I'm trying to help spread the knowledge right now. I do the streams daily, but the Discord server I think will be more helpful because that's obviously, if you want to ask me a question, you have to wait until this time every single day. But in the Discord server, you can ask me or people in my community like Mr. Miles daily to find out what's happening right now. We've got us, and again, this is Mr. Miles once more in my server who just put this out. A new mining site in Oklahoma. He said it at the beginning of the stream, but he's now shown proof of it here. A new mining site in Oklahoma is ready for only Casper. So more that hash rate is going to rise for Casper, more price will then fall rise in due time as well. More and more ways just to get access to Casper. Again, the server's been very, very helpful for everyone to help build our knowledge, mainly with Casper, but in general, I'd like to believe. And again, these sort of market sense we're talking about right now, so if we talk about in general as well, I'll be providing information where I can. And and this sort of information regarding, these sort of announcements regarding job cuts, these announcements regarding, massive banks that are now, massive companies that are now declaring bankruptcy, which is, at record highs all in all. Sort of information that lets you know where the kind of cycle, where this market is heading to, and lets you know what is likely going to follow that as well, which seems to be a recession. But again, there's a lot more coming that states that crypto is going to be, kind of slotting in place the new financial system, replace fiat and pump higher and higher. Too many coins in the top 20 are past their prime. That's also what I heard in the roundtable as well that was just announced, that a lot of the projects in the space that have been around for a while, much they've done a lot, they're kind of maxed out in their developments. They can't really do much more. They can't offer much more. They're kind of already there, and they're kind of fleshed out as much as they can be. Which is, I mean that's fair to say, I think, in my opinion. And then you've got projects, like Casper, which is in at 21, so almost at the 20, and it's still very early into its cycle. Again, to just gloss over, no tier ones, which is huge. No 10 BPS just yet. No block DAG yet. No KRC20 just yet. We got no DAG Knight, no smart contracts, no ETH roll up. There's so much still for Casper to come out that, it's by nowhere near a fleshed out project just yet. It's got a lot of stuff, but it's still very, very early. A lot of these projects, again, like I said, ETH past their prime. A lot of these projects here have passed their prime. They're not developing anymore. They're just living off what they've made, which is functional, but it's not efficient. Casper's trying to solve, these projects right now are kind of we do what you do and it's fine. Casper's trying to solve an issue, which is the money system. And, the just transaction of money. Peer-to-peer electronic currency, medium of exchange. Casper's trying to solve a real-world issue. Some other projects like XRP and X11, they seem to do a similar thing, but Casper has the technology to surpass them in due time, in my opinion. Exactly. Mr. Mars also said it as well. We're seeing a lot more developments coming with Casper all in all. And it's just, again, why I'm so bullish in this space for what's incoming. And again, I'm very fortunate to be in Casper so very early. I think all of us are being at Casper 16.4 cents. Very, very fortunate by all means. And we'll see more incoming for Casper in due time as well. Again, I think this marathon announcement was also... I think the marathon announcement was very, very important. Like, I would like to hear what you guys think regarding that. Do you think it's bullish news? For those who aren't aware of it, I will play it again in just a moment. But I think actually it is very, very big news what he's saying, just talking about the fact that ultimately the United States need to dominate more the Bitcoin mining sector, just get more access to Bitcoin. Because for me, I think it's very indicative of where, you know, the development of crypto is going to happen in the United States, and also with it being a proof of work segment, what might happen to Casper in the future as well. I'll play it again and let me hear what you guys think in the comments. Please let me know.
Bitcoin is of national security concern for this country. Russia is the world's second largest Bitcoin mining nation. Countries that operate on a Bitcoin standard from a perspective of transacting and holding Bitcoin can transact outside of the sanctions environment. They can transact outside of government controls. If the US does not have a substantial amount of Bitcoin mining onshore, they can be locked out, and US companies can be locked out of transacting their Bitcoin. So strategic ownership of block space is of a national security concern. And that's why with 40% of global Bitcoin mining in the US must maintain dominance, not just in Bitcoin mining, but also in the holding of Bitcoin assets in US companies, whether they're ETFs, whether they're Bitcoin mining companies, whether it's MicroStrategy. But the US must maintain dominance because by the same reason the US holds 40% of the gold reserves in the world, they can exert influence in financial markets. They have to do that as the world transitions to digital currencies.
Okay, it's incredibly well said. Ben, do you have anything you want to add?
So, again, just playing the video out for those who are later to the stream, I think this is actually a very, very big and important announcement. I mean, we've already seen news come out regarding Marathon. I believe that was also mentioned in my server about Marathon signing a patent or of some sort, basically trying to, you know, make him... The Bitcoin that's mined in Marathon has like Marathon like stamped on it, so you can tell it's a US mined Bitcoin. So evidently the US is trying to take more control of the crypto market, which will make it more centralized, which is always a worry. But it's also just again what's trying to, you know, reaffirm America as the financial capital. Which will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. I think it will depend on the election and what comes to fruition from that, which is only going to be less than 2 months away now. But I think again, proof of work project is going to see what can happen with Casper as well. Doge was at 80 billion in the last cycle. Oh, was it? Well, Doge is not there right now. I mean, obviously that's the peak of the last cycle. We'll probably see it return to those sort of levels with more money flooding into crypto once again. A lot of these projects right now, I mean, keep in mind that the market is not even at 2 trillion right now. Very, very low. So we'll probably see the sort of levels return once again when the market takes off, which will be in the next 2 to 3 months. Have I looked at Tau yet? Unfortunately, I have actually just been really busy. I have a lot. Unfortunately, I mean, again, I have a load of projects that load up Tau here. Also, we look at the wish list here. Quick sneak peek, I guess. So these are all the projects I currently have on my list. Showing them just very, very briefly. Projects that I have started, I want to look into a little bit more. Jasmine's one that I was looking into. I'm not particularly a fan of that anymore, truth be told, actually. But these other projects here, ones that I've heard about, people have told me about, and I think they actually have potential. There's also this one that I've heard about as well, that I think is on the up from what I've heard as well. So I'm looking into all of them a little bit, but I just haven't had the time right now. I know of Tau. I've heard a lot of good things about it from other community members, seemingly doing very, very well. And I think it's a project that will do well this cycle. How far it will go, again, with it not being in a bull cycle previously, the sky's truly the limit. We don't know where it's going to go. You can say the same for Casper right now, but it's a project that I think is going to do quite well in the cycle, based on what little I do know about it right now. I mean, the hash rate is still the most powerful metric. Bitcoin Max has always bragged about the Bitcoin hash rate. Climbed even in depressing prices, and now we've got Casper. Yeah, I mean, the hash rate is indicative of the development of a project. The hash rate is the sign of increased adoption and increased security. And if it being a proof of work project, it also showcases how much Casper is being mined. The higher the hash rate, the harder it is to mine a project. Therefore, they have to spend more effort to mine it, and therefore they'd have to if they want to actually spend the time and it worth their while, the price of the project will have to increase as well. So the hash rate is normally correlating to an increase in price because it makes it harder for people to mine it, and if they want to pay a profit from mining it, therefore the price has to increase as well. So it's definitely one of the, if not the most important metric. But with so much development coming for Casper, it's a metric that doesn't really. If the metric was that important right now, we would see Casper higher than where it's at right now, in my opinion. We would not be seeing it at 16 cents right now if the metric was, the do or die right now. Bitcoin right now, the metric's very, very important. Obviously, it's reaching all new time highs again and again as well. The market will turn, in my opinion, soon enough, and we'll start seeing the hash rate and price, resemble each other. But right now, with so much development coming for Casper, I think that the hash rate is one of the most important, and most powerful metrics, but it's not the one that people care about right now. People care about the more stuff that's in their face, which is the tier 1 listings, the KRC20, the KII, 10 BPS, that stuff that's kind of in their face. It's like, okay, that's what I want to see. They don't care about the hash rate, which is a shame because the hash rate is very important, I think. And that's also why you're getting more people. Bitcoin maxes turn from orange to mid green. Yeah, people are starting to turn to Casper because it's increasing hash rate very, very quickly. In the span of 2 to 3 months, it jumped from 370 up to over 1,100. It's going absolutely parabolic in that span. Almost 4xing in the span of like 2 to 3 months, which is insane. And also because Casper right now, profit-wise, is more profitable to mine Casper than it is to mine Bitcoin. And for some reason, some people think 100 billion for Casper won't happen. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I think Casper has the potential to reach $100 billion market cap this cycle. Keep in mind that Cardano in its last cycle, where it reached its all-time high of 98. And I think Casper is a product that could and should surpass Cardano this cycle. We reached top 10 this cycle. In that regard, then, it's got to surpass 100 billion. If to surpass Cardano's all-time high, it has to surpass 100 billion. So I think Casper should be able to surpass that. About ETH, I think the big reason for its current price is people that felt they missed out on Bitcoin's major gains and ETH was their chance. Yeah, I mean, ETH is a number 2. Bitcoin, of course, being the grandfather of crypto, and Ethereum, the creator of smart contracts, so to speak. So people are trying to follow Ethereum in the to try and catch the next Bitcoin, without a better choice of words. Not to mention as well, though, because Ethereum's quite a, interoperable L2 interoperable chain. A lot of projects, a lot of industries as well, from what I've heard from sources as well, have been building on Ethereum, so they can eventually then migrate to the other chains that are coming out that they prefer, which right now seems to be like the XRP Ledger. Also, Casper's KRC20 seems to have a lot of demand from institutions right now, thanks to KRI, the XLM Stellar blockchain, HBAR, so to speak, as well. So right now, Ethereum's being used a lot by institutions because it's interoperable with other exchanges, and they're going to start switching to the other ones once the time is ready, so to speak. LFO1, good to see you every day, my man. Welcome back to the stream as always. Thank you very much for joining. And again, if you enjoy these streams, I'll be doing these daily. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. The mentality will continue to shift to Casper. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion, either. Too small a rate cut, and you won't shake losses of $6+ trillion locked in the bond market. You need to increase liquidity to large a cut, and inflation jumps. Yeah, I mean, I think. Again, regarding the rate cuts, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, regarding the articles from the Financial Times, the BBC, and what I've read about the current rate cuts, current economists seem to believe that a smaller, so 25 BP rate cut is appropriate, but they're still worried that it might be a larger one that might be on the table. But ultimately, again, there has been announcements. I don't think I've retweeted this one, which Mr. Mark's going to clown me for. If I have, I don't know where to find it. But I have seen an announcement that allegedly there will be 4 rate cuts, or at least a speculation there'll be 4 rate cuts in the next 12 months. So it means that we may not see the liquidity unlocked straight away next month. We'll see it, build up as time goes on, as more and more rate cuts are issued and more liquidity is then available to access in the market. I'm going to see if I can try and find out whilst I answer some more questions right now. Once Casper is on the tier 1 listing, and on the front pages, it will be the household name. Look how most newbies buy a bag of Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and ADA because, yeah, a lot of people, again, this market right now, we're still in a market where it's the people who are diehard, the people who are strongly believe in crypto, or the ones who are just getting in a little bit earlier right now. The casual traders don't get in until 2025. And even then, it might be even late 2025, like summertime, or after the Q1. Like people will get in late. That people get into crypto getting late. They'll follow the whole trend later on. And once Casper goes more and more in adoption, it'll be published on front pages of, you know, major articles as like maybe in Binance it'll be one of the biggest gainers in like the last month, repeatedly every single month, and that might make it a front pager, and then people start looking towards what Casper's doing. The major news sources are talking about Bitcoin all the time right now, and they talk about Ethereum as well, with Ethereum ETF, Solana being the next choice of ETFs. XRP is also a major choice people seem to speak about. So we'll probably see it happen with Casper in due time as well, I'm sure. Hash rate is a long-term metric, seeing it nuance highs with the stagnant price dropping. That specifically is a big deal to me. Yeah, the hash rate is indicative for the longevity of a project. The longer it continues increasing, we will see that it correlates to a price rise as well. It's just not going to be instantaneous. People don't seem to understand hash rate enough right now, which is a shame. But the hash rate is a very, very important metric for crypto, for proof of work like Casper and Bitcoin as well. Which again, why Bitcoin price continue to rise time and time again, because that's what the hash rate is kind of designed for it to do. Same thing with Casper, designed to do the same thing. There it is. I did find it. So if you did message me, Mr. Miles, about not finding the video, screw you. The Fed is allegedly going to cut rate times 4 times in the next 8 months. So again, just we not see a severe cut straight away this month. We may see it build up over the months to follow. The hash rate is why I feel confident that it's a solid long-term hold, not just a FUD. Yeah, or not just a fade. Yeah. That's also why I hold Casper, because I think the longevity of Casper is truly there. And again, what's incoming for Casper? KRC20 with a $10 million raised for funding for the series of the Catalyst ecosystem plans, which is cool, very, very cool. We got more development coming out in regards to the KDX, which is the DEX that are, to my knowledge, the DEX that's going to be is one that's got in contact with the major liquidity provider to get stablecoins on KRC20. You got an announcement regarding that. KRI and so on and so forth. The hash rate is just again just to help the longevity of capital price to continue increasing as time goes on, because again it just showcases the adoption and security increasing, and for a proof of work project that is a very important metric. If a proof of work project is increasing in adoption and security, it's doing a good thing. If it's not stagnant and doing nothing, it's doing a bad thing. Of course, you're going to have ups and downs all the time. You had this period where Casper's, like you see for the past week, it's been around, on average, it's been around 1.05, but for the most part, it has, again, that's on the weekly, but you're looking at it on the yearly, you've seen it's been continually increasing. And that in that regard, then I am now about to approach. We're now 2 minutes off the hour mark, so I'll be back on the stream very, very shortly once more. Again, thank you everyone for joining and leaving the likes on the stream as always. You guys, I greatly appreciate it, helping me build my channel and also helping all of us build our knowledge together. Again, some very, very big announcements regarding what Marathon has said regarding Bitcoin security, regarding Chaos, the 10 million raised for a project for KRC20, and I'm sure the KR are getting more and more involved as well. And again, it just makes me very, very optimistic what's happening for Casper in the very near future. Hash rate, as Mr. Miles puts it, it just equals confidence. That's the very simple way to look at it. The hash rate, it just means the higher the hash rate, the more confident it is in the project, and that will, in due time, affect the price going forward as well. So due to all those sentiments, the hash rate increasing higher and higher, the KRC20 on the horizon, the 10 BPS in the motions, the exchange listings coming very, very soon, a new US exchange, and also tier 1 exchanges and so forth. Stablecoins come to KRC20, meme tokens come to KRC20, and so on and so forth. All those sort of catalysts to me raises confidence for Casper, and it means that, again, when we see this breakout above 20.7, I believe we will see a pump, potentially a very explosive pump, going higher and higher to prices, hopefully as high as 32 cents. I would love to see it go 40 or 50. I think by the end of the year, there's still a possibility we could see a $1 Casper, which I'll get into that, maybe a little later on. I've explained it enough in the past, but I'll get into that a little later on, maybe another stream or another video. But with that being said, that is now... well, actually, if anyone got any more questions real quick, because I don't want to cut it a little early for anyone right now. Any more questions for anyone who will ask? I think ultimately right now we're still in a unique position. I'd like to believe. And I think, if you guys want to learn more about crypto in general, shameless plug once again, feel free to join my free Discord server, link in the chat right now. I saw half my Bitcoin to buy Casper is a wise move. I mean, again, not financial advisor, but I think Casper has a better ROI than Bitcoin does. Bitcoin, people expect, what am I talking about? Michael Saylor said that Bitcoin should reach 250k. I think that's excessive, but if it does, that would be a 7x in price from here. A 7x in price from Casper is, $1.40. And I think Casper surpasses $1.40 in this cycle quite comfortably. So I think Casper's ROI is better. So in that regard, again, that's currently where my headspace is at personally. Bitcoin has a more guaranteed pump, but I think Casper's got a better ROI potential. We'll see if it's Casper by the end of the year, at the very least, in my opinion, of course. Yeah, I that's currently where my head. I think $1 is possible, but 50 cents is, again, a lot more likely. I think we'll see that. It depends on what exchange listings and what other announcements come out for Casper as well. Why are you so adorable? I try my best, man. You know me. I try my best to look cute for all of you. But that being said, now that will be the end of the stream. Thank you everyone once more for joining.